Okay, it's Friday, October 24th, 2014. I haven't done any trading today. I'm going to show you my other screen so I can show you the charts, how I've got it set up. I've got two screens for this. You really do need to have two screens. And I'm going to show you my second screen. I always show you this one, but I'm going to show you my second one today so you can see how I've got it set up, and I'm going to show you what's going on the chart so you can understand better what's really happening and the choppiness of everything. The first thing I want to talk about, though, really quick, is that the one trade per day strategy today was good for 20 ticks, but just barely 21 ticks to be exact. So you're really cutting it tight right there. 15 ticks would have been good to go for today. This week, though, has not been good for this trade. It's only been going like 12 ticks and then goes the opposite direction. So it's not been good for 20. So it's not been good all week long. But I want to show you why that is on the chart so you can better understand what's going on and understand the importance of having the right setup to be able to see the right charts so that you can always know where we are and what's going on. Because they're all related to each other. And you can use the code on them in the proper ways, applying it in the proper ways relative to the chart as well. So let me go ahead and stop this video, and then I'm going to make another video of the other screen, and I'll put them together, and then you'll be able to see my second screen, and I'm going to explain some things to you on that screen. So I'll be right back. Okay, so now you can see my second screen here, and this is the 10-minute chart, and this is the daily chart. So what I do is I look at the daily chart and see where we are in general. Okay? And then I look at the 10-minute chart and see where we are in general, this chart, and then see how this chart looks relative to this chart. And then, of course, I come back over to my other screen that you normally see, and I see the 1-minute chart, which I'm using for code entries. But I'm looking at these two charts as well, so that I can get an idea of where we are and what we're doing. Like, for instance, on the daily chart, you can see lately, the last few days, that we're just really chopping up and down here. It's very choppy. This is typical of after a big move. Think of it like a consolidation phase, where it's consolidating. Okay, it's mimicking that. And it's very choppy because of it. Because in a consolidation phase, oftentimes it would be like that. Not as choppy as it is right now, but it would be a little bit choppy under normal trading circumstances. Or a lot of times it'll just get locked up because somebody will sit there on the bid and accumulate anything that anybody wants to sell. And so there'll be a bunch of selling, but it won't go anywhere until the sellers are done. And then there's no more selling, and the buyers all see that, and they jump in front of the bid, and they all take it up higher, and then it shoots up, and I've been in a lot of those circumstances, but that's real trading. This is just choppy right now. So I'm just trying to teach you how this works. It's just choppy right now. But that won't last for very much longer. Probably this is the end of it right here on Friday. And then next week it'll make a move again, up or down. A pretty big move. So, it'll just start to move in one direction. It'll either start going up, or it will start going back down lower, one way or another. But yesterday was choppy, very choppy, and it was Thursday. Today is Friday. It was also choppy today. Wasn't too bad, but it was choppy when I came in. I came in like right about here to come take a look at it to see what the code was. And all I saw was chop, 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 chop. And then it made a move, and then it was back to chop again. And I just, Friday, because Friday is typically either a good day, where it's just going to like go one direction or another, or it'll be a choppy day. One of the two. It's never really a choppy day and a good day. It's just one or the other. When you see it's a choppy day, it's best just to say, oh, Friday, choppy day. That's it. Don't trade. Because why? Because if any time you're going to lose your money, it's going to be on Friday on a choppy day. So it's best to avoid it. But there's other times when Friday will be a really good day. And so you don't want to miss those. So it's important because you see how it moved, you know, a nice free-flowing action. Got a little choppy right there, a little choppy right there. Free-flowing action. Got, you know, a little chop right there, but then came down real nice. A little more chop, came down. And now it's in some real chop. Chop up, chop down. Chop up, chop down. Chop up, chop down. It's choppy right here. But it'll start to move again in a free-flowing motion again, just like it was before, either up or down. No way to tell right now. You can use the code on it. You can use code 2s, but other than that, there's no way to tell. So when you see that you're going into a chop area, which is oftentimes coming preceding or after a area where it moved really big, like it did, you can see in the previous post on my blog that it moved 500 ticks and 430 ticks. It made these really big moves. Well, now it's consolidating, you can call it, and it's choppy right now because of it. But it'll soon change. So you just need to realize where you are right now in a choppiness area. Be careful of your trades and get ready for it to make a move again. And when it does, it's going to make big moves. You'll be able to get in and, you know, hit some big trades over and over again on the codes. Using the code, hit 20, hit another 20, hit another 20, that type of thing. Or go for more, hit 30, hit 40, that type of thing. Or hit a code 2, hit 100, 200, that type of thing. It'll really open up. For instance, code 2 today was not even good for 100. I didn't measure it exactly, but it was probably good for about 70 or so. Which means it's a shallow, tight, choppy day, Friday. And, you know, if there's any time that you want to take a day off, this would be the day to do it. A choppy Friday. Just wait for the chart to start opening up a little bit, like break out of this range, for instance. Wait for it to break out of the 84 down to here range. And once it does, you'll know that the whole thing is opening back up again, the chart. It'll start to make bigger moves and start to go in one direction or another. And give you opportunities to enter with precision using the code and make your big entries. Whereas here, it gives you an entry, only makes it 10, 15 ticks, doesn't go very far, comes all the way back down, hits your stop, or it doesn't go very far at all, then rolls over, hits your stop, and then, you know, it's too choppy to effectively trade it properly. Now, you can hit the moves when it makes the moves. Like this morning, it made a move here, you can hit those. Actually, the code this morning wasn't bad at all, but over here it started to get choppy, and that's when I was looking at it. But over here it wasn't bad. It was moving pretty good. Moved down, and then it moved up. Still fairly choppy though. I mean, look at it here, and then look at the choppiness. It's a choppy Friday. So it's still got a lot of chop to it. So anyway, you learn how to use the charts in combination with the code to see where we are. Like a lot of times these things will line up. Like for instance, a lot of times the daily will show, let's say, a bar down, or a bar down, let's say, and then the 10-minute will also show that it's at the low and it's going down. And then you'll get a code entry on your other screen, go short. Well, I mean, those are your good ones. Those are your ones that are going to drop. You know, you're going to make a lot of money on those. Or vice versa, going back up again. Same exact thing, just in the reverse. But the charts will help you to know some code entries are better than others, and that you can get more from them than just the 20, for instance. It's time to, you know, go ahead and make that mathematical gamble that this one's going to be worth more, and go ahead and go for it. Especially like, for instance, off of code 2, of course. You know, then you really got your mathematics in your favor big time, and go for more. So learn how to use the charts. They'll really help you with the code. This is how I've got mine set up. This is how I like it. It works good for me. At the same time, it gives me the ability to adjust my orders over here. I can still see all the orders. I can adjust them. These stay on top the whole time, so they just stay right there. And then over on my other screen, I've got everything I need. The dome and the chart, the 1-minute chart for the code entries. And that's how I've got mine set up. It works really super well. You might want to set yours up similar to mine. And learn how to use the charts. It'll really, really help you. Oh, and please don't try to trade on a laptop. Okay? Laptops are not for trading. And also, don't try to trade with a wireless connection. You need a hard line connection. Okay? DSL or cable, you need a hard line connection. Or satellite is okay. But actually, I've never used a satellite, so I can't verify it's okay. I would want to use a hard line connection, not a wireless, and certainly not a laptop. And you really do need 2 screens for this. Because if you want to do this properly, you need the screen for your orders and for some good charts over here, and then another screen for your dome and a 1-minute chart. How could you do all that with just one screen? There's really no way. So you need 2 screens, and screens are cheap now. Go to Amazon, get them for like $150. Computers, you can go over to eBay, and they've got places that make custom computers for you. You get a nice custom computer for $300 to $600. Really super nice. All custom. No junk stuff on the software, nothing like that. It'll come clean, just like a computer's supposed to come. I buy all my computers that way. They're all custom done computers. Custom built. And you know, that's the only way to go, believe me. So you get a real quality, fast computer, put a good operating system on it. I'm using Windows 7 Professional. And set up your software, set up the screens and the charts properly, and learn the code, and take this serious as a business, because it's a lot of money here. But you also need the patience and the discipline and the knowledge. Look where we are. Chop, chop, chop. Be careful. You don't want to trade chop. You want to trade movement. Now this morning wasn't bad. If I was trading this morning, I could have did pretty good. But I still might have just stayed out because it's Friday and I saw it was choppy yesterday. Let's take a look at yesterday on the 10-minute. Okay, here's yesterday. Yesterday was real choppy. Look at all the chop yesterday. Chop, chop, chop. It's moving up, but very, very choppy. Well, look at today in relation to yesterday. It's also quite choppy. Even though it's moving back and forth, it's quite choppy in its movement. It makes it harder because every time you get in and it starts coming back down, and then it goes back. It's just this chopping. Even within the code itself, it's just so choppy instead of just free-flowing like it normally is. Makes it much more difficult to trade. It also, at the same time, makes it more difficult to know what the code is, because the code doesn't move very much. So it's like, which one is the code? It's hard to tell. It could be multiple different ones, and then you don't find out until later. So the chop is really hard, not only to trade, but it's hard to figure out what the code is. See, otherwise, normally it's much easier to figure out the code because you can see it moves really big. You say, oh, well, there's the code, stands out really big. Whereas in a choppiness time, it doesn't stand out because they're all moving small. Which one is it? None of them stand out. Not really. I mean, some a little bit, but it's hard to tell. They don't make it to the 20 ticks, so how do you know? You see, so it makes it a lot more difficult. The best thing to do is when you see the chop, stay out. And another thing, with the chop, when it comes, oh, you know what I'm sitting here doing? I'm sitting here explaining it on the other screen, and you don't see that screen. When the chop comes, and you'd be looking at the 1-minute chart here, but when the chop comes, what'll happen is you won't get the setups. You won't get the multiple code 1 entry setups. Like for instance, let's say you were looking for a 3 code 1 setup to go short. Well, they don't come. They never come because it never makes that kind of a move. It'll always go short, long, short, long, short, long, short, long, chop, 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 chop. And so it never goes short, short, short and drops, or go long, long, long and goes up. Never, because it's not making those kind of moves. It might do a little bit, like, on a move like that, for instance, but that's just one out of a whole bunch. It's hard to take just the winning one and then not take the losing ones. So you're in a losing game there. You really need it to be more moving. Then you get multiple entries going in the right direction. So be careful of the chop. Be careful of Fridays. It's either good or it isn't. I tried to catch code 2 on Friday. Code 2 wasn't bad today on Friday. It's been doing the normal code 2 that it's been doing, and but it just didn't go 100. Only went about 70. So it was very tight. You're not going to make 100 today. And the daily chart is a reflection of that. So is the 10-minute, of course. But you can see it really well in the daily that we're in a chop mode. So be careful of that. Get yourself the right setup. Take this really seriously because, a business, any kind of a business is serious, especially one that you can just push buttons and make money from. It's very easy to make money. It's also very easy to lose money. You need to be very careful and disciplined with a lot of patience and a lot of skill and a lot of knowledge behind you and the right setup to put this all together to be successful. So I hope I can help in that, help you to learn how to do all of this and put it all together. The code is a great advantage, but you need every advantage you can possibly get. And use these charts properly is another one. Patience and discipline, of course, is another. So I'm going to keep doing these videos for you and keep showing you how to do this trading. I'm going to get myself into a different time zone and really start showing the code 2 because I can hit that and make the big trades. And hopefully all of this will help you to be a professional, successful trader trading oil. So have a good weekend out there, traders, and I'll be back next week to mix it up and get in and start trading the codes and making money and demonstrating and showing everything to you, helping you out to learn how to do this for yourself. Have a good weekend. See you next week.